Howdy folks, it's rjhelms here with episode 5 of Let's Play OpenTTD FIRS. I saw an interesting thing when I was in between episodes here, which is that I kind of always knew this was coming because this network is built very minimalist-like, but this intersection here is going to be a problem sooner rather than later, because there's still tons and tons of oil to produce, and this is where the oil trains, which is going to be a huge number, are crossing the path of the bauxite trains. So that might be a thing that we want to improve when we get into making our junctions better, but we're not quite there yet. And the other thing we wanted to do was deal with, it was the farm supplies. Yes, we are producing farm supplies here at the machine shop, and we want to get them to these two farms. Our plant fibers train is going. Our manufacturing supplies train is filling up very slowly, but we'll deal with that. That might be longer than it properly needs to be. Now, what are the numbers that these guys need? They need 56 for quadruple production. Okay, so let's strategize about this. Well, the next obvious thing to do is we've already got a pattern for doing this. I'm going to mark my point here. You pull down to double track as you do. And this is just going to jog over. Out of conversion mode, so you get pulled down like that. You pull over like that. You're a path signal, you're a path signal. Okay, now let's think rationally about this. So the first thing we're going to want is a train that takes farm supplies, 56 units. Or as close as we can get, which is going to be 3 gondolas. On a Selkirk. With a caboose. You are farm supplies. You can get started, and train 28 here is going to be the one. Farm supplies from SKHE to STNM. Oh, the manufacturing supplies train is full. This guy's happily making its way back. This guy's still doing its happy little job. I think we need one more plant fiber train. At least one more. I'll make sure you get back and then you can go away. But I'm going to want to do something else with the trams here. Not with electrified railway, with trams. I got room for 5. That's longer than that needs to be. Because what we need to do here is so this train's going to go and drop them off, and that's going to serve this farm. But I also need to have a transfer, so I need another train of the same length that is going to transfer to this station, and then have a manufacturing supplies tram that's going to go from this one to that one. I'm going to clone this, but the not shared orders kind of clone, and you're going to be a transfer. So train 30 is going to go to Farm Supplies, SKHE, but with a transfer order to STNM. Gotta make sure that you don't load to keep that unambiguous. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but you never know. That train is also bogged down in that same intersection. We knew that was a risk. And a new vehicle, which is going to be for farm supplies. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. This is going to be farm supplies, but it's going to be the short one, because that takes 45, so it'll do 2 runs for every train 30 that drops off. That makes perfect sense. So you're going to go here, full load, and then you're going to go there, no loading. And you are going to be farm supplies STNM to SKHM. And we'll build more of these trains as needed. But that seems quite logical to me. And this is why I wanted the room for the extra platform. In the fullness of time, we may need a third, but the way these loopy-loops work, that should be totally fine. Okay, so you are doing just fine. You've done a full load, so you can go away. You, I know, you're working. Cool. All right, that's all going great. Let's see what we have as far as capacity bogging up. Oil, oil, oil. Two more oil trains needed at least. All right, chemicals and petroleum. This place is a zoo. Just gotta keep an eye out for bottlenecks as time goes on. So I don't have a chemical train going to DNGV, right? No, I don't. That was the next thing I wanted to do if things permitted, and it looks like they will. So we know how to make this happen. You're going to be a path signal. You're going to be a path signal. You are going to be a path signal for sure. You're actually going to go away. As are you and you. You're going to be a pass signal. You're going to be a pass signal. Out of conversion mode. Right, it's going to sit here. You're going to sit there. You as a pass signal and you as a pass signal. And now I need a chemical train. Do a not shared orders on the chemical train. Delete. So you are going up to here. So new group chemicals KWTE to DNGV. Train 33, you're in that group. And get started. Okay, and everything's going really well here. See if there's anything else that was obviously calling for my attention. Engineering supplies, of course, there is still a lot more to be taken. Got a metal train happily sitting here. No surplus of bauxite. That's all going apace. One more oil train at least. And that's been hugely lucrative, so I'm really happy with how that's, as the choice has worked out. I'm not sure if it's time to rebuild this intersection. Let me just scope around for some others. This one's also becoming a problem. You are a... Okay, gas train. Yes, going up to the... machine shop. Which could also use metal, but I don't have a surplus of metal right now. Alright, so let's look at taking goods somewhere. Oh. That's good that this is just long enough that something waiting here doesn't block someone that wants to go up there. That was actually a really, really happy coincidence. Because if I was smart enough, I would have planned for that, but I didn't. This could stand to be improved, just the throughput at this station. Okay, but anyways, I digress. Let's move on to goods. So I have goods coming out of VNAW. I have goods coming out of KWTN, so let's pin these guys both up. And I need somewhere to take goods, which... Actually, I should find... a town that's big enough that it's actually worth potentially making a big part of our passenger system as and when that becomes a thing as well. And Stockholm is the obvious candidate. So there is a grocery store here, which takes food, fruit, and alcohol. There's also a builder's yard and a hotel. And a grain mill right there. So if I build this here, it will serve the grocery store. I don't really know how hotels work in this game, to be honest. I mean, my ideal scenario would be to serve all those things, but I think actually like a pretty big station here serves part of the town, it takes goods, and allows me to eventually serve that grocery store, is what I want. So actually the main Stockholm stations, here's going to be SKH. Alright, let's think about logistics of building this. The one thing that appeals to me, actually, is the idea of just extending this off here. You know, all the way back to there. Or even just here, actually. I'm not sure. What's nicer? No, the one I have is nicer. And then I could, I think will, make the support going this way as well. Alright, that is ugly as sin, but we are intentionally keeping things simple and improving our bottlenecks once they're bottlenecks, not as soon as we think they're bad. That's a little steep of a turn, or of a rise, but I don't want to stress about it just yet. I think Stockholm Station is calling to be a Roro, just because it's going to be serving a bunch of different types of industries, or not industries, but goods, trains. I'll have to do some landscaping here. I can accept this all being pretty tight. That was silly. And sold. Okay. Finish running the signaling. Path. Path signal. Okay, and that should work. This is a nightmare. But it'll work. Okay, so first things first is the Metal workshop, which also makes goods. New vehicle. Okay, goods. Cargo capacity, flat car, gondola, covered hopper. All at 30. Covered hopper is what I want. Yeah, still give me a Selkirk. Some covered hoppers. And a caboose. You're going to full load at VNAW. Go to SKH and you can get started. Good. VNAW to SKH. Keep you up. You can go away because I've served you. Now down to KWTN. I don't know where your... This is getting terrible. I don't know where your depot is going to be. I guess it can be all the way down there. Once again, you're going to be a not shared orders clone. And good KWTN to SKH. Yeah, and this is starting to be a problem. And the problem is with the entry and exit to the station, actually. Right, because they have to cross each other. Okay, I've got a somewhat obvious solution to this, actually, which is just to turn this somewhat retroactively into a railroad station. It's still not perfect. But it will be much more capacious. Is capacious a word? I feel like it is, if perhaps a very obsolete one. Yeah, so you go away. If this needs a depot, it can have one way down here. And even if it does this does back up, it's actually got a fair deal of waiting room. Well, that's not actually going to be a problem, though. you turn around... Yeah, no other trains are going to come in facing that way again. That was just a legacy problem. These signals probably do more harm than good, actually. Okay, yeah, that's that fixed up. Let's look at our stations again. Oh, this guy's crazy full of plant fiber. Okay. Build another platform for these guys. And clone this vehicle. Yeah, see, they'll loop around, so that actually is some, you know, just the infrastructure element of building tram lines is a lot simpler. They're actually backing up here. The farm supplies. I'm not really worried about that, actually. Oh, I did it again. Bloody hell, okay. Yeah, go to depots, both of you. Yeah, once again, I forgot to actually do the conversion orders, and these depots are going to be far away. I was going to run this on fast forward, but let's see what's else. Okay, it was plant fiber, and you also need another plant fiber train. I'm surprised, actually, that that's the one that's in excess. Oil is not anymore, which actually somewhat worries me. But as long as those engineering trains can get in, it's not a problem. Petroleum, gasoline. I was wondering if I have any other stations that accept gasoline. Or... No, I don't think I do. Okay, so... You have one more gasoline train, sure. Okay. So you're waiting in the depot, so you are going to be a goods train. Get started. You're going to be a goods train. Phew, okay, that was really silly of me. Right, and you can turn around here. You can turn around here. Yeah, I might have overdone it on the oil trains because I was bottlenecked and didn't solve the problem correctly. But we'll survive. Yeah, this is working much nicely. More nice, early. Oh, no, now it's full of oil again, so it's working fine. Still having issues with some of these bottlenecks. Yeah, that's not so nice. But we can improve those. Okay, so we've got our good stuff going. I want to fast forward again and just watch the the meters, as it were. Okay, so you guys are loading, but you're loading the right thing, right? I could use one more plant fiber train here, oddly enough. Okay, and you're filling up. Great. I just want to see that happen over here too, and this is the one that's waiting for metal and chemicals. That's some metal, and there's some chemicals close behind. Yep, and it's filling up too. Okay, perfect. So I got those guys. Once the save is done, you can go off fast forward. All right, very, very cool. I'm getting, oh, you are an engineering supply train. Oh, that's a little weird. Yeah, it dropped off being gung-ho, so now this is bottlenecked, or potentially getting bottlenecked, so I gotta keep an eye on that, because that's what happened there. Yeah, things are getting kind of ugly. So our very, very minimal rail network perhaps is starting to be to our detriment. So in the next episode, maybe kind of improving some of these makeshift junctions so that they are not so makeshift is the order of business. But we can deal with that when we get there. But for now, we've got our goods trains working. This guy's on its way, so that's very cool. So yeah, that's really, really excellent. So we've got, once again, another couple supply chains fully linked up. We've got our first station that is serving a town, and that's pretty exciting because it opens up the whole world of passenger service to us. But this network is a little bit too bogged down with bad junctions to actually, I think, be fast enough to deal with passenger trains at this time. So yeah, I really think the next order of business is to start improving some of these junctions. So we will get down to that in the next episode. Until then, this has been OpenTTD FIRS. I have been rjhelms. Thanks so much for watching. As always, please leave any comments with any feedback you have about this series, anything else you'd like to see or don't want to see either in this series or some other thing that I could do for a video. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more things like this. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.